What is meant by cloud computing? So cloud computing means nothing but, so in the olden days, everything has to be taken care by me as a company owner. Example, so a company owner has to give the money, they have to buy the hardware, they have to maintain the network, they have to maintain the storage, they have to maintain everything. Everything has to be maintained by them. The problem comes into picture is if something goes wrong, you are responsible, and if you can't fix it, your business is getting lost. That is the reason you go for something called as cloud computing. What is an advantage of having a cloud computing? With the help of cloud computing, you can make sure the infrastructure, networking, hardware, storage, everything is taken care by AWS. So you don't need to worry about anything. Something goes wrong, literally something goes wrong, you are not responsible for that one. AWS is responsible for. So hope you understood what is meant by AWS cloud computing. I showed you a small demo what is meant by AWS cloud. So you can go and create a server, you can create a database, you can create everything whatever you want. Is it clear, right? So that's called as AWS cloud computing. Now AWS, so when this AWS started, AWS started in the year 2006. It started in 2006. Sir, what is cloud computing? So the cloud computing is actually divided into, the cloud computing is divided into multiple types. So the cloud computing, when AWS started in 2006, so in the very early stage, there were lots of confusions in how do you start cloud. Okay, there were a lot of confusions in how do you start cloud. For your example, so when AWS cloud computing or cloud computing started, right, cloud computing is divided into three types of cloud. Okay, so people call it as public cloud. Okay, people call this one as public cloud. Now what is the meaning of public cloud? So let us go and go very deep dive. So a cloud computing, the word cloud computing is nothing but, instead of you taking care of everything, AWS will take care. Now what is meant by public cloud? So example, what is an example of public cloud? Companies like AWS used to come up and say I am public cloud. Company called as Azure will come up and say I'm public cloud. Companies called as GCP will come up and say I'm public cloud. Now what is this public cloud computing? Is it clear, right? So what is this public cloud computing? AWS cloud computing, normal cloud computing is divided into three types. So the first one is public cloud. Now what is the meaning of public? Can anyone please participate and tell me in a normal technical word what is meant by public? It's a very, very important word which I'm going to explain today. Keep it in your mind forever in your life. What is meant by public? Can anyone please participate? Online people, you have so many people online. Can anyone please participate? What is meant by public?
Something common to all.
Can you speak a little bit louder, sir?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you're not okay. Some bias voice. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Something which is available to all.
No, I can't hear you anything, but let me participate. Yeah, that's fine. So what is a bit? So keep it in your mind. It's a very, very, very important word. What is actually meant by a public? Public means everyone. Yeah, that's fine. Everyone knows. So public means
Mm,
everyone. So means what? So in normal technical word, what is meant by public? So public means absolutely, public means everyone. Yes, that's fine. But always keep it in your mind. Everyone who is having, what is that? Internet. So keep it in your mind and keep it in your mind forever. Keep it in your mind forever. What is meant by public cloud? Public cloud example is AWS, Azure, and GCP. What is this public cloud means? What is the word called as public? Public means everyone. Public means everyone, but everyone who is having internet. What is the meaning of right now public cloud? AWS created something called as public cloud. Whoever is having internet, they can create their servers in cloud. Very easy. I want 10 servers. I, with the help of internet, can connect to AWS and create 10 servers. That is called as public cloud. Public cloud in 2006, AWS, Azure, GCP, I would come up and specify Oracle Cloud. All these things are public cloud. So public cloud was there in 2006. And to understand a second definition of a public cloud, very, very important. I think I need some participation here. Can anyone please tell me, I want to create a public website. If I want to create a public website, what are the things I require to create a website? I need full participation. Yes, sir. I want to create a website. www.kumar.com is my website. I want to create www.kumar.com. To create www.kumar.com, what are the things which are required for me? www means what? What is www?
Worldwide.
Worldwide. Everyone in the world. That is what it is public. I am asking you, please create a public website. To create public website, what are the things I need? Step number 1 to step number 10, if you know anything. Anyone? Anyone, please let me know. Step number 1. Step number 1, if I want to create a website, any person in the world clicks on www.kumar.com. So when you click on kumar.com, where do you host your application? So you will buy the hardware. Let us take an example. This is my laptop. I'll buy it. Okay. To this hardware, I will provide 24 into 7 into 365 days. I will provide power, internet. It is my responsibility to go and provide what is that? Security to this server. I will go and install what is that? Operating system in this system. Is it clear, right? I'll install it. Then what should I do, sir? I want to create a website. To create a website in this system, it is mandatory to install something called as web server softwares. Example, IIS, Apache, Tomcat, Nginx, those kind of softwares are there. So you need to install mandatory. So you will install like a web server is there. Now, can anyone tell me if I want to type www.kumar.com, what should come? What is that, right? So then I have to deploy my own application. So in this application, what is present? HTML pages, JavaScript, style sheets, all these things are related to application. I have to deploy the application into this one. Now that is fine. I have done until this one. Now my question here is, if anyone in the world clicks on www worldwide, I want to create, what is that? Very, very important. What is that? Public website. How do I create a public website? Most of the people don't know, but we will do all these things practically in coming days. It is my responsibility. It is my responsibility to attach, buy and attach one. Very important. What is that? Public IP address. I need to assign one public IP address. I need to purchase. So how do you purchase public IP address? Who is your ISP, internet service provider? You need to go and ask him, please provide me public IP address. They'll charge you, they'll do a justification, they'll ask you a lot of questions, then they'll give you public IP address. Now, are you hitting www.kumar.com or IP address? Are you going to hit www.google.com or Google IP address? What are you hitting?
Google.com.
Google.com. So I need a name, right? So that is the reason why you will purchase something called as public DNS, domain name. Where do you purchase domain name? Anyone? Where do you purchase public DNS name, domain name? www.kumar.com, www.kelly.com. Where do you purchase? Okay. So there is a very famous website. What is that? GoDaddy.com. GoDaddy.com. You will go and purchase. So you will go and you need to purchase it. I think it will charge you somewhere between 99 rupees to 999. It depends upon the name. So you can purchase it. So you will go and buy a domain name. What is your domain name? www.kumar.com, www.kelly.com, www.india.com. So like that one, you will go and purchase a domain. Sir, you purchase the domain, you attach public IP address. Then what do? You do the mapping. So anyone in the world goes and click on the DNS name, it has to go to where? It has to map it to public IP address. All those things you need to do. To create a website, what are the things I have to do? To create a website, I have to do these many things: buying the hardware, provide power, internet, security, operating system, install web servers, configure your application, assign public IP address, public DNS, then you map it. Is it clear? To create a simple website, I have to do this one. Can anyone tell me from first step to the last step to create how much time it takes? Purchasing the hardware, installing the operating system, end to end, how much time it will take? In the year 2008, it would have taken me 2 days of time. Sir, why it will take 2 days of time, sir? You'll buy a hardware, install operating system? No. Especially if you want a public IP address, you'll request your ISP to, I need a public IP address. You request, you will ask them to give a public IP address. They will ask you justification. They'll ask you to fill a form. There is a big procedure to get public IP address. If you want a DNS name, you need to go to GoDaddy.com and purchase it. Once you create it, it may take somewhere between 4 hours to get the DNS name. So it is a big process to get it. So if you want to create a website, it is taking somewhere between 2 to 4 days. Yes or no? Yes or no? Welcome to AWS. That is what AWS is coming and saying. Why do you require 2 to 4 days? You come to AWS, click one button. I will provide the hardware. I will provide security. I will install operating system. Whatever the software you require, I'll take care, including public IP address and public DNS. I will give you. Why are you worried? The same activity in public cloud, this is completed in 2 minutes. So what is the difference between 2 days and 2 minutes? Are you able to understand? So in the year 2006, AWS came into picture. People were in shock actually. Hey, yaar, what is this one, man? I click one button. 4 days of activity, 3 days of activity is completed in 2 to 3 minutes. What is happening, man? What is happening? What is this one? So people were in shock. That is the reason 2006 AWS started becoming very famous. Okay, 2006 AWS started becoming famous. 2007 people started hating AWS. Is it clear, right? In 2007 people started hating AWS. What is the reason why people started hating AWS? If you click on one button in 2 seconds, 2 minutes, you are getting a server, right? So keep it in your mind. It's very dangerous, sir. So I'll tell you, what is AWS cloud? AWS cloud is a public cloud. So let us assume this is cloud computing. So AWS, what is AWS? AWS is what kind of a cloud? Public cloud. It was very immature. So let us take an example. This is a place in United States. I am present in Hyderabad. I want to create one server. I'll be from my laptop. I'll request some creation. So the server number 1 gets created in cloud. Yes or no? And I can connect from Hyderabad to United States with the help of what is that? Internet. So happily you can crowd. Why I am able to connect through internet? AWS is public cloud. Happy, very good. I can create server number 1. I can connect it, very good. But the biggest problem in the very early stage on AWS, AWS is a public cloud. If you take an example of our demo example, Flipkart.com. In Flipkart.com, I want to expose one server to the world. I don't want to expose my database server to the world. I have a database server which is very sensitive. I can't expose that server to the world. I have my application server. I have to expose my server to the world. AWS was public cloud. Whatever server you go and create it, AWS will come up and say that is public server. Arey man, can you give me one server which is a database server which should not be public? Okay, outside public through internet should not connect it. It should be completely internet. Database contains sensitive information. Don't expose that server to the world. No, 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 no. I am public cloud. Arey, you are public cloud. I need some private. No. So that is the reason why people started hating. Let us take an example. I'll go and create a database here. This database is also in what is that? Public cloud. This database is also what is that? Public. If you are able to connect through internet from Hyderabad to United States, what about a hacker, sir? Hacker can also connect it. Yes, right? Yes, it's a public, right? So hacker also, if you don't provide proper security to your database, you don't know how to keep the database secure and everything. How do you open port number? How do you close the port number? Hacker can also come into your database and hack it. Is it clear, right? So that is the biggest problem. So AWS, people say AWS is very good, but don't use for production. So that is the reason why people went into the next cloud. So when you talk about cloud computing, what is that? And then you have something called as, what is that? Private cloud. So there is something called as private cloud. Private cloud companies came into picture. Private cloud. What is private cloud? You know what is public cloud? What is private cloud? Now